This is a Chucky Beat production.
Give us free. Give us free. Give us free.
Your Honor, please instruct the defendant that he cannot disrupt these proceedings with such
Give us free.
If we are to have any semblance of order in this court, Your Honor.
Give us free. Give us free.
Keep crying out, give us free, or anything else.
Give us free.
I'm trying to question this witness.
Give us free. Give us free.
Oh, hello everybody. This is your boy TJ the Chicago Kid. You are now watching Streetz Iz Talking radio show on the RIP Radio Network. What you have just witnessed were my feelings over the course of the 7 days that I was blocked on Facebook. Hey Trump, what's up with you, boy? Shit, man, we got a lot to talk about today. At least I got a lot to talk about, being that I'm the only motherfucker in here. You all, I like to give it up for my co-host, my unofficial co-host, when I ain't got nobody in here to put up with my shit. The studio owner, Trump. And we are live today. As you all know, I was blocked for, 7 days? Because of Little Fruity Pebbles. And I finally got I was trying hard too. I was making ghost profiles. Facebook was like, nope. Nope. Because you know, I wanted to promote the show, and I really couldn't promote it the way I wanted to because I promoted on Facebook, and they just would not let me live. So I had to do some things, and I was sitting there, and then when I came in last week, I gave y'all a cheesy show because I was hungry, and my co-host, she seemed completely distracted, and she not coming back because it's just not gonna happen. So, what has happened in the last week, man? It has been, and I'm not saying this to mock people, but white people have had a bad week in America. I mean, it started off with O.J. Simpson getting out of jail. Did you see the video of him getting out of jail? Yeah, he got out of jail, and you know how y'all paparazzi like to run up on motherfuckers, and they ran up on the car, and OJ had a fifth. He had a pint or a fifth of something, throwing something back, in them jailhouse blue jean outfits in the backseat of an Uber. OJ was like, look, man, I just did 9 years. Can y'all leave me the fuck alone for like 5 minutes? I'm going to try to do better today with my profanity because I know a lot of y'all at work and y'all can't deal with me cursing. Y'all got y'all bosses. Y'all just can't do it. So I'm going to try to chill today. I don't think I'm going to have that much success at chilling today. What else happened this week? We had Puerto Rico. That's not a white people problem, but we had a Puerto Rico. And, you know, of course, you know, I got to do a segment. I got to get it together. I'm going to do the graphics on it and everything. But the segment is going to be called, What Did Donald Trump Do This Week? And Donald Trump, the hairpiece in chief, has continued to fail. He's never failed to entertain me. Everything Donald Trump does, as insensitive and as fucked up as it is entertainment to me because people act like they expect more out of this dude. And I just absolutely don't expect anything out of the pumpkin colored president-in-chief. So this week, this last week, you know, they had the hurricane in Puerto Rico, and it pretty much demolished the island. I mean, real bad, really, really bad. I mean, it pretty much decimated the island. And for those of you all who don't know, Puerto Rico is a territory within the United States, meaning these people have, the Puerto Ricans are citizens, and they are extended the same rights as citizens that are here in the continental United States. But I don't think anybody relayed that information to Mr. Possum Top in Chief because Trump was like, hey, it's not my problem. Yes, it is. They're American citizens, you fucking idiot. So he got into a Twitter war going back and forth with the mayor of San Juan. And, you know, he calling her a nasty lady. Like, that's his favorite insult, like, to women. He just says nasty lady. She's a nasty lady. This woman is sleeping on cots. You know, she going around with a bullhorn. This is the mayor of San Juan, of a city of the United States, that's going around with a bullhorn in flooded streets trying to find survivors, people that need help. And instead of President Trump throwing all the resources of the United States behind the effort to help those in Puerto Rico, he sat on his hands. You know, there's a certain law that prohibits international boats going into the waters to bring supplies and stuff. And generally, he lifted that act when Houston got flooded, in order to let the supplies come in. But this time in Puerto Rico, he decided that, you know what, it's bad for business. In Puerto Rico, you know, they got a lot of debt. And you're like, dude, it's people over there drowning without fresh water, and you talking about debt. Look, American people of color in particular, Donald Trump don't care about y'all ass. So stop thinking that the celebrity in Possum Head in Chief is going to make an effort to do anything for y'all. But it was a funny video. Prior to that, you know, he dedicated a golf trophy. This is about an insensitive fuck. He dedicated a golf trophy to Puerto Rico. Yeah, you didn't see that? They had a golf tournament somewhere, and you know, they had him after. I don't know if it was on one of his golf courses or not, but he dedicated the trophy to them. Like, you know, I'm dedicating this trophy to y'all so y'all can come scoop some of that goddamn water out your living room. Y'all can pass it around. This dude is the fucking worst. Oh my God. And then they got a video. He finally made it down to Puerto Rico, I believe it was yesterday. And, okay, you got the video of him? Yeah, that one. Just run that video. Let me just show y'all and just listen to those of you that, you know, are gamers. You're going to get it. you play video games, you're gonna get it. But run this video, Trump. Let's look at what he's doing in Puerto Rico. Y'all see this? That dude is a class act. He is a class act. I'm going to talk about also, I'm about to go on a short break, but I'm going to talk about something else that happened this week. Why I said that white people are having a bad week. There was a shooting in Las Vegas. According to reports, official reports, a 64-year-old man named I think it's Stephen Potter or something like that. He went on a shooting rampage the other day from the Mandalay Bay hotel. And according to official reports, this 64-year-old white man who allegedly had no prior military training, no prior known firearms training, no prior known tactical training, was able to get 23 guns and rifles, handguns and rifles, and I believe tanite, which is an used in refrigerators, is an explosive, or they said ammonium nitrate, which is a fertilizer to use explosive. He was able to get that into his hotel room, set up a tripod, set up surveillance cameras in the hallway, and he fired on a country western concert on the Strip, and he killed over 50 people and injured about 400, anywhere 400 plus. So we're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna discuss it. Let me just put this disclaimer out there. I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. You know, I believe that there are some conspiracies in the world. I don't believe everything is a conspiracy. I don't even believe that this is what you would consider your traditional conspiracy, you know, government, secret agent, black ops, like everyone wants to allude to. But the story that they're given is just not sitting well with me. So I'm going to go to a break and we're going to watch a video. I'm going to try to bring some more people into this live feed and spam some groups and put this video up. But I want you all to pay close attention when I come back, because I'm going to show you something and point some things out to you that you probably haven't seen and give you my perspective on it. So this is TJ the Chicago Kid, Streetz Iz Talking Radio. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Video.
I just can't keep pretending that you love me, baby. I've learned everybody won't like you. City full of killers, everybody won't fight you. If you got a gun, then they might gunfight you. You could be the one, bitch, I might one night you. I'm the type to hit the strip club and know the dances. You the type to lead a strip club and know the dances. Hated on by niggas that's doing better than me, cause no matter what, I am what they never could be. Real. I heard I got a few haters in the city. It's cool, but I let her see the city in alliance. Looking pretty over all the pity and defiance. We can all dance to the violence of violence. Still can't sleep through the sirens and silence. Smoking for the dead, I vaporize a hearse. Had to write a copy cause they plagiarized the verse. I be in the latest fashion, they arriving first. We be gliding with the eagles knowing they provide a perch. Bitch, look up at the skyline. Even in the eye of the storm, I fly fine. Underhands never go over my head. No traitors with a gun over my bed. Bet you I'ma spread the butter over my bread. 100 years later, they gon' know what I said. Hear me in your nightmares, see me in your dreams. Niggas want pain, I will be the genie to your scream. I'm a star, gon' make that wish. Safe off in his hand, I grabbed it, kissed it. Jimmy got me Larry. The block logistics got me optimistic. As I dwell through the depths of hell, at one step at a time, but the steps are 12. Follow. On my way to AA, need a AAA. I drag my balls in the ground and hit into a triple play. Still, I gotta let my nuts hang. Dick pick on the net, cause I was trying to fuck fame. The broke rap about money, I feel it's mundane. I'm the line leaving the den, and I'm untamed. Chain smoking got me high, so high. Had sex in the sky, and the sun came. So if you get some sperm on your perm and it's hot, when it drops, let it burn, baby, burn. Only one thing scares me outside of God. Look, I fear being a square. I grew up preparing keys in the squares. Trunk full, you can barely squeeze in a spare. The game's giving death, charity in a chair. Dope fiends fiending, they would rather the needle. Drums going off, they trying to battle the Beatles. Good versus evil, better gather your people. They hate me cause I'm strong, cause they would rather I'm feeble. But don't mistake my confidence for conceit, or the downplay of my dominance for defeat. They ask me how I feel about niggas that rap is something like masturbation. I'm only feeling me. If you got more bitches than money, stop bragging. My cougar bitch see me in jeans, say stop sagging. I know they hate the word, I'ma never stop swagging. Name a joint I dropped since 09, it's not dragging. Fine, I can't miss, that kicking. Cosigns broker, the median mediocre. I got jokers that's trying to beat me in poker. Joker beats a king, everybody follow suit. And if you win the game, everybody follows you. So there's clowns at the top. If you looking for some real niggas in this game, look down at the top. You wanna be the man, you gotta beat the man. So I'm loading up to shoot a few rounds at the top. Bow!
Okay, I'm back. I thought I had a little more time today. That was a short ass video. Hey, look, just so y'all know, last week I put on the dry show. I had on a dry co-host, but I was hungry. I didn't eat anything prior to coming out, so I bought me some snacks today, some fruit. I'm trying to eat healthy. And Trump, he got his vehicle back. He got to check. Trump came up here last week on a on a taco truck. This week he drove his vehicle, which is a ride-on lawnmower. He done went downstairs and left this. See, this is a Negro station. How the engineer gonna get up and walk out and just leave me hanging in the station? So while he go check on this flat tire, I'm discuss this shooting in Vegas. Now, I got to preface this by saying the views expressed by my black ass are not the views of the RIP Radio Network. So if y'all gonna boycott something, don't bother the network. Don't even bother me. Just walk your ass around mad, because I'm probably gonna say some shit that you all don't like. There was a shooting the past couple of days ago with a guy in Las Vegas. Now, to reiterate, the official story is 64-year-old Stephen Pollock, whatever his last name is, fired on a crowd of country music goers at a concert, outdoor concert in Vegas. He was in a room on, I believe, the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, and he fired indiscriminately into the crowd, killing 50 plus people, injuring 400 plus people, before the police were able to locate him, go into his room, and find him deceased. And the information was coming in slow, then it started coming in fast. And generally speaking, in a situation like this, they withhold information from the public for a while because it's an ongoing investigation. They don't have all of the facts and the answers in. They don't tell us everything in case there are other culprits involved, as to not alert the culprits that they're being, investigated. So in saying that, I want it to be known that I'm not your typical conspiracy theorist. I don't listen to Alex Jones. I only have one David Icke book. After I read it, I just like, this white dude is crazy. And, you know, I try to keep it sensible, you know, and I look at everything that's going on. But there was some videos that I watched that didn't quite mesh with what took place in Las Vegas. Of course, they show the video of this other MGM, the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Can you put that video to Mandalay Bay up with the windows blown out? Now, he was in a room, some kind of executive suite. As you can see, he was in some kind of executive suite on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel near the corner. Now, Mandalay Bay was the first hotel I stayed in when I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas back in April, I believe, of 2009 to see the Paul Williams Winky White fight that was at Mandalay Bay, and I stayed there. So I pretty much got a feel of what the hotel is like and what the rooms are like. That is supposed to be a deluxe room. Now, that room is supposed to be 1,800 square feet. 1,800 square feet. From the looks of those two windows that have been blown out, it looks relatively close, like it could be in one room. But once you get up on that hotel, you'll see that there's quite a bit of distance between that corner window that's blown out on the right and that window that's blown out on the left. So to me, either that has to be a gigantic room, which I know what 1,800 square feet is, or that's two separate rooms. Now, we're thinking of a 64-year-old white guy who, from his pictures, appears to be very out of shape. And in order for him to fire from those two rooms, he would have to fire from one, locate to the other one. I don't know if he fired from one, located to the other one, but if those are two rooms, then that means that he would have had to exit the room, go down the hallway, go into another room, fire to get to that window and fire. Another part of the official story is that he used a hammer. They're not saying what kind of hammer, but he's using a hammer to break those windows. Those windows are designed to withstand earthquakes, are designed to withstand the wind of a hurricane. But you want me to believe that a shooter took a hammer to break those windows in order to shoot out. Now, I find that kind of funny because, you know, last time I checked, a bullet would have went through that window. So all he had to do was fire through the glass. But he felt it necessary to break the window with a hammer. That's something that is relatively disturbing to me. Secondly is they say they found 23 rifles and guns in his room. He had been there since the 28th, up until the day that he started shooting, allegedly. And according to some reports, official and unofficial, that he transported those 23 firearms in a total of 10 bags, 10 separate bags. In addition to either the tanite that they said that he had, or the ammonium nitrate. Okay, I was just in the MGM casino in the National Harbor a couple of days ago. And I can tell you with a mathematical certainty that they got either gun sniffing dogs or bomb sniffing dogs. They got them in the parking lot. They got them walking around the casino. These aren't drug sniffing dogs. These are either bomb sniffing dogs or there are gun sniffing dogs. So I've been to the Mandalay Bay and I can't see the security at MGM National Harbor being greater than that at the Mandalay Bay. Another issue, so if the dogs are trained to sniff bombs, are they trained to sniff the bombs like with the clock on it and the C4 on it, or are they trained to sniff out materials that make bombs? He made 10 trips, 10 different bags, they said, in order to take all of those weapons up to the room. Yeah, something don't smell right with me. But this is the official story. The second, the most disturbing thing to me is that while they're showing videos on the concert grounds, there are two videos that I've seen that have pretty much disturbed me. The first video, when I first saw the video, was someone hiding, but they're videotaping the actual Mandalay Bay. And in one of the rooms on the lower floors, near the middle where it meets. There's repeated flash, like muzzle flash. Now, of course, when I've seen that spoken about on social media, at first people come and say, well, that's a reflection off the strip. Okay, if that's your excuse, then why is it a reflection from something flashing on the strip? Only flashing in one window. Either you're going to see flashing going across, flashing going up and down, but there's nothing that's going to be flashing repeatedly like muzzle flash from a window. But then there's the second video. And I hate to get on my show and act like, Action News and shit, but there's a second video that a cab driver took that she was driving around and she's being alerted by the dispatcher, that Metro Police is saying that there's some shooting going on and it's supposed to be going on by Mandalay Bay, and she's right there. And when you hear the firing of the weapons, you hear a weapon that sounds like it's right up on her, or you hear firing as if it's weapons in the distance. So let me tell you all a little bit something about science. You have what's called the speed of light. You have what's called the speed of sound. And to give you an example, you see lightning off in the distance. And we tend to know that once we see the lightning off in the distance, kids are normally going to put their fingers in their ears because they know within the 3 to 4 seconds, then they're going to hear the crackle of the thunder, right? It works the same way. There's firing right above her. Then what sounds like firing in the distance. Now, this is just a hypothetical thing that I'm posing. If a person fires here, he fires a burst of rounds, and then he stops. If they're in two places firing, and they wanted to make it seem like it's one person that's firing, this person fires. They're not going to fire at the same time, because people are going to be looking here, and then they're going to be looking there. They're firing off at the same time. But in this instance, this fire goes off above her head. Then off in the distance, a couple of seconds later, something else fires. But the thing was, the caliber, the sound of the fire was different. Like one you might hear, and if you're military, you'll hear a lighter caliber fire. Then you hear a thump in the distance, or you hear the thump in the distance. Then you hear the thump close up, or you hear the thump close up, and then you hear the lighter caliber in the distance. But what was happening was this person was firing, then there was a pause. It could have been that the other person on the other end was waiting to hear that person stop firing in order for them to start firing, because they had to wait for the sound to get to them to stop. So just for the sake of argument, I'm going to run the clip of the cab driver. And as she's driving off, because she's like, oh man, nobody is panicking. As she's driving off, she has her camera on the casino. And maybe 4 or 5 floors up, that same place that people are trying to say from the video from the distance was flashing lights from the strip. She's right up on the casino. And as she's sitting there looking at the room, right above, maybe 4 or 5 floors up, you see the muzzle flash and hear it right there. So it's going to, I just need 5 minutes of you all's time to look at this video. And then we're going to come back, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines so I can take some phone calls on it, because I don't want to stay on this too long today, because I got another subject that I need to talk about. But this is a video of the cab driver. I shortened it because this is like 18 minutes long. I shortened it to about 4 or 5 minutes, so you can see what she saw when she pulled up, what she heard, what she's hearing over the dispatcher as she's driving off, and as she videotapes this same window that we see from the video in the distance. The same window up close, same window. If it's flashing from the strip, then your angle is going to be different. What you see from a difference is not going to be the same thing as you see from the floor. It's the same fucking window. So she's right up under it, and somebody that's maybe 900 yards away or seen it in the same place. That's not a flash from the strip. That's a flash from that room. Is it a firearm? I don't know. But watch the video for yourself. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but tell me what you think.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like automatic gunfire. Now it sounds like it's coming from farther away. Something's going on. I'm not sure why people aren't running, but there's a security guard. What is he doing? You know, for there being gunfire, sure doesn't seem like people are running. Oh, shit. Seriously, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops out here. Be careful.
Where are the cops at? I'm right here by the porch at Mandalay Bay, and everything just seems to be normal here.
That what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and everything seems normal when it's not. The video cameras around the Vegas.
Yeah, we're just all sitting. We're just.
I got details on it. I'm at the airport. I just talked to the Metro Police over here at the airport. They said do not go to Mandalay Bay. There's multiple shots fired and they need lots of medical there. Do not go to Mandalay Bay. Stay away from there.
Alright, I'm leaving. This is ridiculous. I don't know why people aren't leaving. This is insane. Everybody's just standing around. It doesn't seem like anybody's moving. It seems like it's coming.
What happened, Mandalay Bay driver? What happened? Full shots fired. They don't even know the details yet. I just talked to Metro over here at the airport. They're
There's
still
just
getting the
people standing
details, but
around.
there's multiple
You
injuries.
guys, there's
and,
shots fired.
That's all they're telling me. They're not telling me anything other than that. They just said stay away from there. They're shutting the whole place down.
Alright, this is crazy. I don't know. It seems like it's coming from up there. Oh shit, Alright, I'm out of here.
So just stay away from there.
Alright.
Now, did you see what I saw? Did you hear what I heard? I'm not trying to get all conspiracy theoristy on you all, everybody, but that sounds like he had different caliber weapons. I get that. But here's what goes on to those of you who are not familiar. Okay, so I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I have fired a variety of weapons. M16, Beretta 9mm, M249 saw, M60, tripod mounted 50 cal. I fired those. And you can tell the difference between the weapons based on what they sound like when they fired. You can determine distance, how far they are. You should be able to locate a shooter, especially at night because you have muzzle flash. And in everything that I seen in that video goes against what the official story is. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I have to fucking say that. But it could be a case that the police department and the FBI don't want to lead on other shooters. That could very well be possible because, of course, with stuff like this, you get the nut jobs coming in talking about, you know, this is a false flag, and this is a result of the M2K Ultra that they're trying to put on us to. I'm not into that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is I know what I see, and I know what I hear. And I hear a cab driver who is sitting right up under the Mandalay Bay, and she is right up under gunfire that's coming from the Mandalay Bay. But at the same time, she's sitting there, and you can clearly hear gunfire coming from the distance. That's gunfire that is not right where she's at. And when she drove by, I mean, look it up for yourself. Go on YouTube, look up the shooting videos. There are videos of somebody who's holding the camera to the Mandalay Bay that is on the concert grounds. And you can look at the Mandalay Bay and you see where that same muzzle flash is right in that same area. Then the cab driver's video, when she's driving by and she's like, oh, and they start firing right up under the window, it's in that same area. Now, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. I'm not stupid. You know, and people want answers because I like to go to Vegas. I like to go to the fights. I've been to quite a few. And I would like to know that while I'm in Vegas, I'm safe. But, you know, I think that the police were a bit premature in trying to give us some, or maybe they're just trying to throw off the scent of those who may have assisted them. But I know in a hotel room of 1,800 square feet, with a man shooting that many rounds, number one, there are gases coming off those rifles that are filling up that room. They're blinding him. And with the caliber that I listen to, which sound like an M60, that gives off a lot of gas. You can't even shoot that and be right up on it without the gas burning you in your eyes. So I know what it was like in that room. He's in an enclosed space. And then this is the other shit that they talking about, Trump. They said that he had a tripod set up in the room watching himself commit the acts. A videotaping himself doing it. He's not streaming live. He's just shooting. They also said that this old white guy has set up surveillance cameras in the hallway so he could see when the police were coming. Here's the thing. On every floor, in every hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, is a camera. You mean to tell me you came and told us all of this? You haven't showed us one video of him carrying a suitcase, a bag, Nothing. They say he made 10 trips to his room carrying these guns. 23. 10 trips. You haven't produced one video of him getting on the elevator, getting off the elevator, carrying these guns down the hallway. You haven't produced one video that shows this man setting up surveillance cameras in the hallway to show the police coming. Who y'all think we are? It's the most craziest shit in the world. And now all of a sudden they're talking about gun control. Gun control is gun control. Let me tell you something, white people. And you ignorant black people. Let me get a strawberry. At one point in time in my life, I was anti-gun. I was like, if the people start buying guns, if we get rid of all the guns, we could be like England. They don't have no gun violence over there. I mean, they still got violence, but they don't have no violence over there. We need the gun. Not no more. Not no more. With the random killings by police officers of people of color, particularly black men, and all them not being prosecuted, I just don't foresee us getting rid of guns. I just don't think that's gonna be a good fucking idea. Because, you know, every time there's a shooting, you know, you have 20, 30, 40 shootings in Chicago. You don't hear no folks talking about gun violence. That's why they want you to get rid of the guns. You hear all of the killing in New Orleans, the killing in Baltimore. You don't hear nothing about gun control. You don't hear nothing about gun control when there's a 40 shootings in Memorial Day weekend or 4th of July weekend in Chicago. You don't hear nothing about gun control. You don't hear about gun control until there is a majority of white people that are shot. And let me talk about something else I want to mention. White people. Not all of you. But you know who I'm talking to. Terrorists are white too. Terrorists are white too. You can't keep doing this smell test where when it's a black person, thug. It's a brown person, illegal immigrant. It's an Arab, terrorist. It's a white man that smuggles 23 guns into a hotel room in Las Vegas and starts shooting at a fucking outdoor concert, killing over 50 people, injuring almost 400. And when I'm talking about injuring 400, I'm not just talking about people who lost their shoe and walked over glass. He shot more than 40, 50 people. They didn't die, but he hit a majority of them 400. And you're going to say lone wolf, mentally ill, disturbed. Get the fuck out of here. He was a terrorist in the truest sense of the form. It just so happens that when the crime is committed by a white male, and a majority, if not all, mass shootings in the United States within the last 10 years were committed by white males. If it's a white male, it's always excuse. Go back to Columbine. When them boys went into the school, the trench coat mafia, and shot all those students up. Nobody called them boys terrorists. They had problems. They were disturbed. They were picked on. They were outsiders, loners. They got a fucking arsenal and went in there and killed everybody. When Gabby Giffords got shot over in, you know, the congressman, disturbed, loner, acted on his own. In Aurora, Colorado, he walks into a movie theater, people looking at the Batman movie and open fire. Nobody ever called him a terrorist. This motherfucker, when he died, his hair green and orange like the Joker. But when white people go on shooting rampages, they never get the label of terrorists. Because if you label them terrorists for mass shootings in the United States, then you got to call them terrorists about what they did to the Native Americans. You got to call them terrorists about what they've done to black people in this country. You got to call them terrorists about the Mexicans that they slaughtered in order to take Texas and all those states down there. You got to call them terrorists about everything, and they don't want to wear that label. This dude was a terrorist. Yeah, I told you to get your mic on. You had, you know, this is what happened when I had to work with dudes who got to ride to work on the But this is what I'm saying. I mean, the dude was a terrorist. Call him what the fuck he was. He was a terrorist. He killed people. He intended to slaughter as many people. And they said he had what 10,000 rounds, 15,000 rounds. The number keeps changing. But he went up into that hotel room. If he's responsible alone, he went up into that hotel room with the sole intents and purposes of killing a lot of people. So that's a terrorist to me.
And let me just say this.
You don't gotta raise your hand, man. Can't nobody even see your motherfucker.
No, I'm just you know, I just do this when I'm expressing the point. But when throughout history, and I love all people, all races have problems. But throughout history, white people have slaughtered to get what they want. They've done that. It's like in their veins or in their blood or something. But it conveniently gets forgotten, or we should just quote unquote get over it when they do it. You know, like get over slavery. But these mofos can't get over OJ. You know what I'm saying? Get over slavery. You can't get over OJ.
Yeah, OJ.
You know, so
OJ, 70 years old.
70 years old, and they having a fit that he's out. He'll be back.
Yeah, did you see that the state's attorney for Florida wrote to the parole board and said that they don't want him there?
You can't tell.
How is it that the state that killed and slaughtered the Native Americans, particularly the Seminole Native American?
Oh, wait a minute, we should forget that. That was a long time ago.
Wait a minute. Let me just talk about that. The Seminole Native Americans brought in African slaves, and they were free, and that just wasn't good enough. They went and they slaughtered the Seminoles, the ones that they didn't kill. They made a move, and once they acquired Florida, just basically gangster and took it. They made those African slaves again.
Yep.
And now she's talking about she don't want OJ there because OJ hasn't showed contrition. When in the hell?
Contrition for what? He didn't kill anybody. You know, that's what he was. He wasn't convicted.
He wasn't convicted of killing anyone. So I guess he's not contrite for going into, because what he was convicted of was going into a hotel room and trying to get his stuff back.
And he served his time for that.
He actually, was the sentence recommendation was probation, and they gave him what, 30 years?
5 years probation.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is what they sentenced him to was like 30 years, which is the max for it. And she said he's not contrite. You are the DA of a state that isn't contrite to the Native American population that occupied Florida. You're not contrite about, you know, reinserting Africans into slavery, but you're going to tell me that OJ is not contrite, so he's not free to come to our state.
But let's remember, you know, the rule of the law. The things that white people have done, we are to forget about and get over it.
Yeah.
Remember that. So all that happened so many years ago. That's done now. We should forget it. But you can't forget about what OJ supposedly did. You can't get over OJ. And we supposed to get over OJ is one black man that supposedly did one thing, and y'all did something for 400 years, and we're supposed to get over it that quick, but you can't get over OJ. Get out of here.
Yeah, OJ is catching a bad rap. So like I say, you know, OJ got out of jail. That's what set all this shit off this week. OJ. Well, OJ got out of jail.
Now let's see. Was he mad that OJ got out? Was that why he went up there and started shooting people?
Hey, white people, if you really want to pin some shit on OJ, say that the reason this man got out of jail, I mean, this man went on this shooting spree is because OJ got out of that damn jail.
Conveniently, that was the same night, or the same day.
Same day that OJ got out.
How convenient is that? Maybe that ticked him off. Who knows?
Watch they try to tie this shit to OJ Simpson.
OJ, you go OJ.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was just getting out of jail.
OJ, this is your fault.
This is your fault, OJ. Your fault. So that's just what I want to talk about that, because I don't want to go too far over because I'm already almost at the hour mark. I just wanted to get my feelings on that. I needed to get that off my chest. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not somebody who just believes in everything. I don't believe that Jay and Beyonce are in the Illuminati. I don't believe, you know, I don't believe that a lot of crazy shit. So I just thought that I would put that out there because it just doesn't sit well with me. And I'm not saying that there's some government conspiracy in some smoke-filled office in Washington, D.C. where they said that, we're going to have to distract from Trump. We're going to have to go out and kill about 500 people, or at least try, in order to take the attention off Donald Trump because this Russian investigation is getting heated up. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's quite possible that the police are not giving out all the information and that there's still an ongoing investigation and they still know that there's possible shooters out there and they're trying to locate them on the low, as to not alert them, as to not send the public into panic, as to not cause these shooters to commit another act of terrorism in order to discourage, because they know they're going down and they know that the bloodhounds is on them, that they commit another shooting spree in order to punish those that are trying to pursue them. That could possibly be the case, but don't give me no bullshit and expect me to believe it. I'm just not going to do it. So, today, normally I feature a book. I missed a book last week. Today, what I'm reading, Trump, is the book called The Color of Law. A Forgotten History of How the Government Segregated America by Richard Rothstein, who is Jewish. So I don't want you all to accuse me of being anti-Semitic, because a lot of times you have Jewish scholars that will give up information on the history of this country and the history of Jewish involvement in a lot of things in this country. And then when you speak on it, you be called anti-Semitic. This is a Jewish author. And it's some very intriguing information in the book. One of these, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start reading the books, then I'm gonna come back and give a segment and talk about it instead of just introducing the book. But my homie C got me this. We go back and forth. We battle.
Is there a video version of the book? I'm black. I don't read. So is it a summary in the back? I can read a paragraph.
No, ain't no summary. ain't no audio book on Amazon. You just gonna have to sit your ass down and read. As you all can see, I have not used as much profanity today. I'm proud of myself. But this next segment, after this next break, I'm about to cuss my ass off, but hopefully I'm going to get my boy CP3000. I know his punk ass is listening because, he's a basketball coach and we need to talk about sports. I really don't have shit to say about the NFL this week. Oh, yeah, well, they want to know what I'm going to open the phone line when I come. I tell you what time is it? If you want to call in the next 7 minutes, I might take a couple of callers. The phone number is 301-288-3100. That's 301-288-3100. Call me within the next 7 minutes. And if you got something you want to say, go ahead, call in. I'm willing to listen to what you got to say. If you're crazy, I'm just going to hang the fuck up. I'm just going to give him the signal, and he going to hang up on your ass because you ain't going to call up people with that goofy ass shit and these motherfucking conspiracy theories. Keep that shit to yourself now, because we fucked up enough as it is. We don't need y'all convoluting our goddamn intelligence with misinformation. 301-288-3100. Anybody calling Trump? Fuck him. Look, we gonna go to break right. We gonna go to break right now. This is Streetz Iz Talking Radio on the RIP Radio Network. We gonna hit you with a video. When you come back, I'm gonna take on the Black Feminist. I saw a show. What was it? Last week. My man Boots, he has the second best show behind mine on the RIP Radio Network. And he had his show with a bunch of black feminists on. And I did a little research. I'm not going to put her out there because it would be very damaging to her credibility if I threw her under the bus with the receipts. But, yeah, she was on the show. She was one of the guests. I'm not going to say which one it was. But I've linked the video to stream right now to his page, and she's a friend. So I'm pretty sure she gonna see me talking about it, and she know exactly who it is. She know exactly who she is. She know exactly who I'm talking about. And it's just a lot of hypocrisy. I listen to the show because I want to support the brother. Y'all listen to Boots' show. We ain't got no name. Just go Wednesday nights at what time? At 8 o'clock. He coming on tonight at 8 o'clock. It's gonna be kind of hard for him to top my show. But we ain't got no name coming on tonight. But he's a very open guy. I've been knowing Boots for about 20 years. We go way back to our Black Voices days. And Boots is a progressive guy who wants to give people, an honest lesson. And in an hour's time, it wasn't just enough time for me to just kick the ballistics. I wanted to come up here, but the way my mouth set up, I probably would have got pepper spray or tased by one of the women. But, you know, I'm going to take on these black feminists, and I'm sure you all are going to want to call in then. So we're going to go in after the break. Once you see the video go off, just give us a call. The number is 301-288-3100. And then I'll take a few calls, and I'll go on to my next subject. And hopefully CP3000, bull-legged / not neat ass will call in and give us the sports report. So check us out. We'll be right back.
See, this hip-hop shit is a lifestyle, baby. Shit we walk, shit we talk, it's a way of life. I got some shit I just want to say, you feel me? Let's go. This my letter to Hove. First off, the album you dropped was dope. That 444 gave us lyricists hope. Seemed like the only dose of hip-hop we get is Kendrick Cole, some Logic, some Chance, but not from a street point of view. In this new day and new age, rappers with their new waves, stumbling and mumbling other shit that they say. I agree with you, Jay. I've been saying everybody sounding the same as lanes, fucking up the game, but who am I? I'm just a rapper from Baltimore that lost 2 record deals, so I must be hating right before you was flipping them paintings. You was straight from the oven with it. Niggas couldn't do nothing with it. Niggas holding stacks of their ears, jigga trying to be you. You might disagree, but look at it, that shit is true. See the blocks you hustle on is now in the trap. You floss, we flex. Politics is YouTube wow. All a crystal sipping, the reason my VIP is sparkling now. Play Monopoly with real cash. You and Biggie now in strip clubs and fuck up a bag. This Axe 50, everybody wanna get high and have a good time. But whatever happened to classic albums? Since some good rhymes, you prove lyrics still matter. But ask Nas, what you trying to keep knowledge when he made still matter? R.I.P. the Prodigy made hip-hop live on. You own title, the highest title, numero uno. But you making big pimpin' like Future, making Pluto. You had this rockin' platinum, made it switch back to gold. With commercial for more records sold. If you never made those radio hits, will we still call you home? Remade Hard Not Life, cause Puff had it poppin' with the remakes back then. Yeah, and these are the bricks, yeah. Us niggas still taking deals, still. I mean, Rock Nation did a deal with Wale and Meek Mills, and they both signed to Ross, but you signed him. I mean, a worker gotta be a worker first to become a boss. Who own Bleak Masters? Who own Beans Masters? Who own Kanye Masters? Def Jam, I'm just asking. To own your own Hove, it's a slow process, a hard thing to digest, and every day my niggas dying. I spoke with Emery, he told me bet on myself. I built with Stokey, knowledge is better than wealth. Shout out my nigga Witten, but here's the contradiction. If I ain't popping on the gram, then nobody wanna listen or hear the shit I'm spitting. Give me some recognition. I need likes over love so I can voice my opinion. So I'm stunning my IG pictures, get lit in a couple flicks, exploiting my life on live. We just trying to survive. We just American dreaming. Every day fucking new bits, and my Beyonce sister kicking me in the dick. Is niggas in Paris really robbing the Kardashians? Black China robbing Givens, Kim Kardashian. While all these dames Rockefellers and dashing. You the only rapper that own his masses and Calabasas laughing. Shit, a lot of us need them advances. Either that or we trap taking penitentiary chances. Trying to advance shit. I know you trying to advances and enhances and give us game. But we should be proud to get a record deal and not feel ashamed. I know I made Mama feel proud when I signed with your man. I shot my shit to the rock. Big face that told me you and Dame was having problems, and the rock was no longer solid. Met you in the Bahamas at the 06 Power Summit. My dog had told you I was the next one coming. For that top spot, you looked away and brushed them off and just laughed and said that's what they all say. I'm like, yeah, alright, okay. Did a record with no idea it was a hip-hop classic. But around this time, South was running shit with that trap shit, trying to push it as a single. But the label wasn't having that shit. See, the facts is you try to buck the system, you ain't got the power, they go shit, them crackers get rid of you. Look how hard Dame with the back for y'all, then got black bars. Sometimes you think too big, this industry make you feel small. You feel me, Jay-Z? Before I end this letter, I got a question. Would you still be Jay-Z if you ain't compromise your talent with business? Rock all them diamonds and flash you with streets, still be watching and feeling Jay-Z? You do it for the culture, to let a nigga know what it feel like when a nigga rotting in a roaster. But if you never cop the roaster and invest in the stock, would you be married to Beyonce and over rocking Oprah? Huh? Hope you're not taking this letter I wrote you with disrespect. Just some shit I was feeling, had to get it up my chest. Sincerely yours, boss man to God. P.S. You should do Watch the Throne 2 with Nas.
We back up. Well, I'm all the way up. So I'm waiting on my man CP3000 to call. But in the interim, I want to send some shout outs out to my viewers, specifically those that'll show, put the stream on their page, because Facebook fucking up right now. Trump ain't paid his electric bill or his internet bill, and they slowing him down because he passed that that mark, that with a 3-day mark after the bill is due. When they be like, all right, nigga, keep on flaring with us, we're gonna fuck around and cut your shit off. So I want to thank my cousin Edward, because he's a faithful listener. I want to thank my girl Melissa, who's the coach of my girls' major red team. Shout out to the Silver Starlets that's out of Temple Hills, Maryland. They the major red team, the girls that they dance and stuff like in college, where they start them off and try to get them scholarships in the school. So shout out to them. Shout out to my man Harvey Wallbanger. He was supposed to video in today, but he's not gonna be able to do it because he works, especially for this topic that I'm gonna move into shortly. Shout out to my man C. Shout out to Nikki, Ray, Kara. Just shout out to a lot of my friends that are supporting my show. I think I'm going to have a co-host next week. Fingers crossed. Yes, yeah, fingers crossed. She's looking forward to coming and getting offended by me, because I plan on offending the shit out of her. Let me take this book and take it out, because it's distracting me. I was going to do some on Beer Game Matters, but I'm not. I'm not, because the group is just ridiculous now. It went from maybe a couple of hundred people to 1.6 million. And that's just too much. That's too much thirst. But there have been a lot of spinoff groups. One in particular that somebody added me to is called Gray Sweatpants Matters. I posted the link in the group, so anybody watching, yes, I'm talking about you trifling ass women in there. And what it was, Trump is a group of dudes just, and showing a meat print off in the group, right? So of course I don't do that thirst trap shit. If you want to see a print of my meat, you're gonna have to see it as I am dislodging it from my underwear and sticking it in your mouth. But the group was about a bunch of dudes posting pictures of they meat in sweatpants and the lady Googling over. So somebody got the bright idea to let a lot of the young girls in. The old chicks let the young girls in. And the young girls, opened the door to the homosexual community. So you got a lot of gay dudes in this group. And what happened was, instead of the gay dudes trying to sit back and just enjoy the show from a distance, they have to let themselves be known. And that's what happens with these fruit cups, these fruit roll-ups, these Fruity Pebbles, Suzy-Q's. They have to make themselves known. And what happened was, once they did that and a lot of them started coming forward, all of the action in there dried up. And when it dried up, the homosexuals got mad. So now it's been like a civil war there. And I just sit back and laugh, because yesterday I was in the group and one of the gay dudes typed something in regards to the black women in the group. Y'all need to stop the homophobia, because who the hell is this? This ain't nobody I want to talk to calling me from Tennessee. I don't know nobody in Tennessee. It might be OJ. I told him he was going to call in today, and, he just, go around the country drinking out of that flask. But the dudes was basically chastising the straight black women, because they was like, these download dudes or something. He was saying, you all are bashing us when you all got all these get download dudes in here that sleeping with men and coming back to you in X, Y, and Z. And my whole argument with that has been, black women have this tendency to be very protective of gay black men. And I get it. I understand. A lot of you all like to see the emasculated version of black men. And there are nobody out here more emasculated than gay black men. And I'm not saying that that is, you know, I don't care because it's just more box for me. But with that being said, I keep saying that black women don't understand that a lot of times these dudes aren't your friends. Because while you trying to drag heterosexual black women about black men being on the down low, the fact of the matter is you sleeping with them and you sending them back home knowing they're going home to a woman. So how much of my friend and my ally can you be if that's what you doing behind my back? And they never expose these dudes. They never put them out there. They never let, you know, the populace know that, you know, these the dudes that's coming home with fecal matter on their penis. But they're not your friends, ladies. And it was just a shitstorm in there. So now the gay dudes in there just pissed off. I just sit back and laugh, and they was like, well, what are you doing in here? Well, I have a radio show. Someone added me. I'm going to promote my show in here, then I'm going to leave because it's going to be pretty much useless to me. So CP 3000, I done told his ass to call. This motherfucker here. So that's that. So this is the meat of the second portion of my show that I want to talk about. Again, the homie Boots. We ain't got no name. Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. Last week he had some feminists on his show. And Boots is pretty progressive. And I believe it was my first show. No, it was my second show that he called in. And, you know, we threw some jabs at each other, and, you know, it was all cool. You know, he a cool dude. But I called into his show. Of course, you know it because you was sitting there. And those of you all that watch my show probably don't even watch his because I'm the #1 show on the Rip Radio Network. But I called his show, and they were talking about the article that I had spoke about before where it says that black men are the white people of black people. And they was on here giving their whole spiel, the whole victimization thing. And, you know, I pretty much repeated what I said. You know, get your point across, but don't insult me in the beginning to try to pull me in. Because now when you pull me in, you can't give me a diamond in a box covered of shit. I don't want it. You know, it might be a jewel on the inside, but the way you presented it to me, that's not a gift to me. That's just trash. So that was the whole point I was trying to get. So they try to go about this thing. Well, if you don't listen to us, you know, you're just as bad as white people. Let me just explain something. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to declare this. And if you don't agree, pick up your phone and call me. I believe black feminists are just as toxic and damaging to the black community as the Klan, the judges, the prosecutors, the police, everything. These women are angry as a result of their own personal choices, and I'm not being dismissive. Let me say this first. I believe that we have a problem in our community. I will be the first to admit that. Black men have a problem. Black women have a problem. Black children have a problem. It's something that needs to be addressed as a whole. When you start to part and parcel things, then you have a motive and an agenda. And like I was saying, Trump, he brought those cackling hens in here to sit and bitch and complain about, you know, black men don't listen and black men threaten women and black men objectify women. And it just so happens that one of the participants in that conversation was in the thirst trap called Beer Gang Matters. I got the receipts. I got the screenshot. She's in there. Kendra Kales, I'm going to say your name. Now, I'm not going to post what you said in the group. I'll let anybody go in there and just simply do a search on your fucking name, and they can see you in your thirst trapism. I mean, your thirstism. But she's one of the main ones, these black feminists that just get on social media and lose a fucking mind. And it don't make no sense to me because in order to have a conversation with me, I'm gonna listen to you talk. You can talk. I'm gonna listen. Then I'm gonna talk, and then you gotta listen. Now I don't necessarily have to agree with what you're saying. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. What the conundrum is that these black feminists feel like if you don't agree with 100% of what they saying, then you're being dismissive like white people and you're being oppressive of black women, which is bullshit. It's certified bullshit. I just don't fucking agree with you. Is there a problem with the interaction between black men and black women? Yes. But there's also a problem with the interaction between black women and black men. And these black feminists, let me just put y'all on game for a second. They not about equality. See, people try to they get things confused. They feel like feminism is about the equal rights of women to men. That's not what it's about. If you want equal rights for women for men, you have to want equal rights for men to women. And that doesn't make you a feminist. That makes you what's called an egalitarian. That means that you want both sexes to have the same rights. I am an egalitarian. I want women to have the same rights as men. That don't make me a feminist. And what you don't see with these feminists is they always are talking about shit as far as equality from a female perspective. And it's very toxic within the black community because the most hated person on the earth is us, black men. And particularly heterosexual black men. They're a little more tolerant of gay men, but they don't like black men. They just don't. There's misogyny that goes on from top to bottom. And if you black feminists, because y'all full of shit, and see, I'm a cuss now because this is an emotional thing for me, but y'all full of shit because you don't want equality for men and women. You don't. What you want is advantages for women. Because you know what I don't hear from them, Trump? I don't ever hear black feminists saying, while we want equality for women, we want men to have the same parental rights as women. We want black men to be afforded the same equal protection under the law in the courtroom, in the justice system, as black women. We want a black father to be able to walk into a courtroom, and when the custody is decided, we want everything considered 50-50 from the offset. You prove your case, let the judge decide. Instead of black men, or men in general, but particularly black men, having a handicap when they go into the courtroom. See, they don't advocate for that. They don't advocate for the fact where when a domestic violence call come into the police station and they dispatch police officer, they're not calling for the police to come and be able to investigate, find out what's going on, and then lock up the aggressor in the party. No, they're not advocating for that. They're cool with the police coming to the house and just locking me up automatically, guilty until proven innocent. They're okay with that. So they're not really about equality. They're about advantages. And it's to the point where they talk about toxic masculinity, fragile masculinity. Let me say this. How is it that black women, these black feminists, can always say this bullshit, but black women are always there for black men, but they're never there for black women? I got a call on the line. This is CP3000 calling in for the sports report. Motherfucker calling in late. What up, Chris?
What's going on, man?
What's up with you? Your ass was missing last week. You want to explain yourself to the listening audience who was trying to hear what was going on in the sports world, and then I had to modify my language because your pussy ass didn't call?
Man, I think everybody out there, all the listeners know, things happen in life, and we don't dwell on those things. We just move forward, man.
Motherfucker. Okay, give me what's going on in the sports world in the last 7 days since your black ass wasn't calling in.
Well, man, a lot has happened, man. You know, Carmelo Anthony is now a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is him, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and company. A lot of people. What you think about it, Thornton? I mean, a lot of people think it's not enough, not enough balls on the court for those three guys, the type of players that they are. If not a very giving group.
If Kevin Durant couldn't find any fluidity with Russell Westbrook, if it wasn't enough balls for them, can you imagine Carmelo Anthony getting the ball the way he hold it? I just don't see that working out. I hope it's. I think it's gonna be for one season, but I just don't see it working out.
Oh well, man. Did you ever watch Carmelo play with the Olympic team?
Yeah, I did.
Totally different guy, man. Like
yeah, totally different guy because he got a team full of players that can score.
That's just what I'm saying. I think he plays the way he does because he's on such horrible fucking teams. You see who he was playing with in New York City. Did you see who he had?
Yeah, some decent.
I'd hold the fucking ball too, man. Like, I mean, come on, dog.
But you can't say New York because he was same player in Denver, and he had Iverson with him.
Nah, he wasn't the same. Now he didn't hold that ball like that. He was an ISO player, but he didn't just stop the ball like he did when he got to New York. He was ignorant with it.
Yeah, he's very ignorant with it. Okay, what's going on? What's going on in football? Because I ain't talking about them motherfuckers. You talking about them motherfuckers?
Football. I mean, you asking me like I know what's going on. I know the Cowboys fucking up. I know that. They're not as good as everybody thought. I've heard through the grapevine.
You've heard through the grapevine because we ain't watching that shit.
Yeah. As far as everything else, man, I don't know, man. Deshaun Watson, the rookie QB, he's black. That's why I keep up with him. He's playing pretty good for the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
I hear he's surprising people. Other than that, man,
fuck him.
Fuck pussy, fuck football, man. I don't fuck with them guys.
We ain't fucking. Look, don't take it personally because we ain't talking about the NFL, but we not fucking with them this season. Colin Kaepernick ain't got no job, so they ain't got me as a motherfucking viewer. So on to boxing. What's going on in the boxing world? I know some got to be up.
Oh well, Canelo Golovkin rematch has been ordered, so that doesn't mean anything in boxing. Nobody can really order shit.
Right.
But they've made a show, I guess, of ordering the rematch. So I guess if it doesn't happen, they could strip Golovkin, I guess. He's the champ. I think he's the champ, not Canelo, even though they had a draw. But anything else? Oh, we got Rigondeaux and Lomachenko coming up towards the end of the year. We need to start getting hype about that now, man.
I got Rigondeaux.
I was in the lower weight classes.
The black man is God. The black man is God. I'm going with Rigondeaux.
Yeah, about that. The black man is God, but goddamn, they got weight classes for a reason, man. I think Rigo should have caught that man when they were a little bit closer to the same size, man. He'd have let dude get up, get strong. I think it's going to be trouble for the man. I mean, he's got the skills to do it, but, I mean, Rigo's been down a few times already, man, against smaller guys, so I don't know. I don't know how that shit gonna go, man. What you think?
I think Rigondeaux gonna stop him.
Stop him?
I think Rigondeaux gonna stop him. I don't think all that dancing.
I think that's the Afro-American in you, man.
No, it might be, but I think the Cuban is a little pissed because he ain't got the fights or the stuff that that he feels he's entitled to, and he gonna go in with an attitude. I think people are just giving the dude from overseas the pale person
518.
I believe they're giving the pale person too much credit for nothing that he's accomplished. Anything else you want to talk about before you get your pussy ass off the phone? I can go back and talk about these black feminists.
Why are you on their ass like that? Anyway, man, speaking of Cubans, man, Luis Ortiz failed the drug test. I think it's his third one. The fight with Deontay Wilder, we were excited about before because we said Wilder was finally going to get a test, has been, for the time being, has been called off.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder claims he wants to still fight, but all signs point to that fight being canceled and Wilder fighting another bum of the month.
Right.
Other than that, man, I don't know. I plead on behalf of everybody out there, man. Give the feminists a break, man.
No,
so they know not what they do.
No, they're catching it. They're catching it today, bro. They're catching it. They gotta catch it today. They gotta catch it today because somebody gotta say it and somebody gotta not be afraid to say it, but say it in an intelligent way so everybody can get it. Because every black woman ain't a feminist. They don't follow the feminists. And black feminists particularly, feel like they speak on behalf of all black women in the country, and they don't. And somebody has to be able to tap them on their shoulders and say, hey, you speak for yourself. So,
this is true. What did they do, though, to get you going today?
Well, if you get your motherfucking ass off the phone, If you get off the phone, I will explain it. It is no one particular thing that they did, but I'm going to explain why I feel I got to say what I got to say. Chris, CP3.
I'm gonna try to catch you, man.
You gonna try to catch?
I'm gonna try to catch some of this because I'm about to go ahead and get on these kids' ass, man. And
you shouldn't say that, man, because they have laws against that. You gonna get on the kids' ass?
No, man, not literally, man. Come on with the shenanigans.
Hey, look,
man.
Y'all can find us clowning in the locker room on Facebook. The locker room, is it THA or THE?
It's THELOCKA.
ROOM. It's the locker room. Just come in and join, but don't be sitting off in the distance just looking. You're gonna have to engage us, or we're gonna throw your monkey ass out of there. We got enough of that shit. And Charles Hall,
right,
Charles Hill is a gump and a bitch, but that's an inside joke.
Oh man, the madness, Mad TV, man. It's at all time. All right, man.
All right, I'll holler at you next week, Chris.
All right, man.
Okay, back to what I was saying about the feminists. What was I, Trump? I was just on a rambling, and he just cut me the fuck off. Oh, again, they're not about equal opportunity for women. They're about advantages, and you don't speak. Just like I don't speak for all black people, I don't speak for all black men. You all don't speak for all black women. You don't. There are a lot of black women out here that can't stand it. And one of the tools that they use, particularly these toxic black feminists, there was a movie out that came out at the top of the year called Birth of a Nation. It was done by Nate Parker. I don't need to go into the story, but of course, a young black man in rural Pennsylvania was accused, charged, and prosecuted for sexual assault and rape of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. And the result of that trial, when it was a majority of white people, is he was found not guilty. His co-defendant was found guilty, but then his conviction was reversed on appeal. And as a result, that movie, which was so important, that stirred up so many emotions, that would have been so educating to black people, you had these funky ass black feminists, these stanky pussy, hairy armpitted, non-leg shaven feminists, black feminists in particular, that took him to task about it. It wasn't even white feminists. It wasn't white feminists. And I saw Roland Martin had one of the cast members on there, and this other chick, this black feminist from DC, big fat roly-poly, high blood pressure looking having bitch. Roland Martin had her on the show, and she kept talking about the gratuitous rape scenes in the movie. And she got a cast member sitting right there. For those of you who were stupid enough to fall for the bullshit and not see the movie, there were no rape scenes in the movie. There were no rape scenes. It was implied. One of the scenes where they caught one of Nat Turner's wife, and the camera goes off after they confronted her, and the next time you see her, she beat up. It was implied. But she talked about the gratuitous rape scenes throughout the movie. And after the sister that plays in the movie, who I believe she played his mother, kept correcting her and saying, there's no rape scenes in the movie. There's no rape scenes in the movie. Nobody's being shown being raped. She continued on her using her social media platform to push that narrative, even after she had been corrected by a cast member who identified herself not only as a cast member, but as a feminist also. She just kept doing it. She did it on Twitter. She did it on her Facebook. She did it on her Instagram. She did it with all her followers. And my thing is, what's your agenda if you've been given misinformation and then you come in contact with the correct information? What's your agenda if you continue to push a false narrative when you know it's false? So back to the show. I called in, and Boots only has an hour show. So I couldn't really go in like I wanted to. But black feminists are very toxic in our community. And they use these little nuances and these little tricks to try to say, you're not listening, you shutting them out. No, I just don't agree with you. And your experience as a black woman isn't the full representation of the experience of black women in America, particularly black women in their interactions with black men. Your experience is not the rule. That's not what we gonna say is the bottom line. And they keep pushing this narrative. So I told Boost today I was going to expose one of his guests on the show. But I'm gonna let you live, sweetheart. I'm gonna let you live. I hope you're watching. Because you only get one pass for me, and you done got several. And you know I know how you go. You talk that feminist shit. But at the end of the day, you know you full of shit. I don't fuck with them, dude. You see them, you know, and hold on. Let me just give you all a glimpse of the shit that black feminists do. Do you see one of the last few, the images that I sent you? Let me start here first. The image of the woman, the article. Oh, yeah. Post that up, please. Let me just show you, this is the shit that they push. Because harass is not just enough. Why consider calling black men terrorists? I want you all to, just for click's sake, go to Madame Noir, which is a black hussy feminist website, and read this bullshit ass article. This is the one that came after the black men are the white men of black people. Go read that shit. What she did was, this author was looking at a dress in an outside shop in New York. And as she was standing there asking the merchant about the dress, some black guy in a Statue of Liberty shirt, or he was employed trying to pass out passes to go to the Statue of Liberty, started to engage her. And then he was an asshole. And eventually, he said some disparaging things about her buying a cheap ass dress, or she looked like she buy cheap ass clothes. You know, one of them hoe ass niggas that, you know, try to holler at a woman, and then when she give him no action, he curse out, call her a bitch. You know that type of guy. And she went back and forth with him, and then she left. She went to work, and then she started engaging her coworkers about this experience. And based on that experience, she writes this piece basically saying that black men are terrorists. Now here it is, you had an experience with one motherfucker, one punk hoe ass dude that cursed you out because you wouldn't give him no action. And as a result, you use your platform with this fucked up ass website to go write a piece condemning black men as terrorists. See, I don't have no respect for that. And you're not going to tell me, like they was trying to say at this fucking table the other night, and which is what Boots was trying to convince me of. I hope he get his ass on the phone and call me, because I want to talk to him about it. I got time today. But you can't tell me when you say shit like that after you say that, I'm supposed to listen. No, I'm not supposed to listen to you. I'm not supposed to take whatever the fuck you saying serious, because after I read that fucking article, it did not warrant the title. You had an experience with one bad black dude. That's the one you talk about. So you was inspired to go write a fluff piece. See this, and this is why I don't respect that, because it's not about equal opportunities. It's not about women being equal to men. It's about women, these black women who didn't manage their pussy correctly. They mismanaged their pussy. They make bad fucking decisions. They try to throw black men under the bus as a result. It's y'all fault I did what I did. It's y'all fault that I had all these kids at a young age with a man that ain't gonna marry me. Or I had one kid by a man that ain't gonna marry me, and he ain't taking care of his child. Motherfucker, that's your personal experience. There are a lot of black women out here who can say the father of my child is a great guy. It didn't work out for us for whatever reasons, but he's a great guy. There's some black women out here who like to take ownership of when they fuck up. There's plenty of them out here. You won't find any of them in the black feminist ranks. And let's just expand it a little bit. After the death of Mike Brown in Ferguson, New Jersey, there was a movement started by the activists there. Hands up, don't shoot. Right? And shortly after that, during that time, there was a little blue vest wearing homosexual out of Baltimore by the name of D. Ray McKesson, who sashayed and switched his ass into the national spotlight with Black Lives Matter, backed by 3 lesbians. And now every time there's a shooting of an unarmed black person, everybody is chanting Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter organization. They interviewed these 3 women. Get ready to cue up those pictures. Black Lives Matter, which many of you think is an organization that advocates against police brutality and police shootings, is not. Let me be the first to say that while it is a slogan and it's something that you wear on your t-shirt, the organization itself and its leaderships don't give a flying fuck about black men who just so happen to be homosexual. And I'm not saying that out of emotion. I got the receipts. If you're on your computer right now, open up another window and go to blacklivesmatter.com, which is the official website of the organization Black Lives Matter. And what you'll see will shock you. When you go and look and see what it is their platform is about and who they represent, you'll see bullshit like this. Diversity, globalism, black women. Next. Black villages, loving engagement, restorative justice. Next, collective value, empathy, queer affirming. Next, unapologetically black, transgender affirming, black families. Where in the fuck, intergenerational, where in the fuck is their platform and their description and their mission statement on eliminating the wholesale slaughter of unarmed black men, which is what this started about? Yes, we had Mike Brown. Yes, we had Eric Gardner. Yes, we had Tamir Rice. We also had Rekia Boyd in Chicago. We also had Sandra Bland. We had a number of black men, black women, black children that were being wholesale slaughtered by the police. And you see Black Lives Matter and old Planet of the Apes vest wearing ass sissy, D. Ray McKesson. Yeah, I don't fuck with him. Marching his sissy ass out while he living in one of them big ass houses out in Baltimore County owned by George Soros. Yeah, we know about it. Yes, look it up, people. Black Lives Matter has been financed, which means that they have been subverted by George Soros and his money to push a homosexual, pro-lesbian, pro-transgender, pro-queer, pro all that other bullshit agenda, and it has nothing to do with the protection or the justice towards those killed by police unarmed. I ain't making it up. That's on the screen. You go to their website, it don't talk about nothing, and you see this black feminism, this bullshit, they throwing black men completely under the bus. If you click on those little things on their website, you'll see them talking about everything else, like with black women. You know, I get it. They're an issue in the black community with some men. We won't say all. because all of us ain't whooped the woman's ass. All of us ain't walked out on his family. But they want to break up the black family, traditional black family. They're encouraging women to go out and have kids and raise them on their own. Well, what kind of bullshit is that? You know, we get so far. I mean, look, black men, black women, not enemies. We're not. I've heard some fucking horror stories from men about the women that they deal with, about how their children are used to hurt them, use them as weapons against the man, how the court system is used by black men to subvert their rights as fathers, how you go into divorce court and find yourself having your whole income just decimated by the vindictiveness of a woman. I hear all of those stories. I got a buddy who, his ex-wife, because he decided that he wanted to move on, number one, she went every year, every 12 months for a child support increase. And after their oldest son turned 18, they had two sons. After their oldest son turned 18, she continued to collect child support for that oldest boy who wasn't in college. She continued to collect child support for him for 6 months afterwards. And in the courts, once he was able to stop, the court said, you got to go back and sue her. And see, feminists, black feminists don't give a fuck about that. That's not something on their agenda. You can't tell me about women having equal rights for men when you're not talking about men having equal rights for women. Yeah, I'm a single father myself. Now, I don't have, I have custody of my youngest daughter. And I don't press my daughter's mother out for child support. Yeah, I could, but I don't. But you'll never hear these women talk about these men out here. And there's a growing, and let me just talk about it, man. I want to talk about it. Statistically speaking, in the United States, 72% of black children born in the United States are born in single parent homes. And of that 72%, a high percentage of that 72% come into homes of single mothers. So the mothers got the children. And you'll have a myriad of excuses. He don't want to take care of this child. He don't want to come around. He don't want to have nothing to do with him. Then these boys, you raise them, black feminists, you raise them. You teach them the values that you teach them. You give him the life lessons because you want to take all the credit when he's the greatest child in the world. You don't ever want to take the motherfucking responsibility when he fuck up. Then you have these grown boys that you date. You let bust that pussy wide open. Don't be knowing them. Mismanaging your pussy. Having children with these men who you claim are so toxic in their masculinity and so fragile in their masculinity. You have children with these men that leave. Then you have these young boys. Then you raise up these boys who become these grown boys who repeat this cycle. And they don't want no responsibility in that. Because again, it's the man's fault because he left that child, her to raise that child by herself. But then it's not your fault with him going out as an adult and he's implementing the life lessons that you taught him as his mother. You can't have it both ways. You got to take some responsibility for shit. If you disagree, I don't give a fuck. But you can call me at 301-288-3100. One of you feminists that want to call and let yourself be heard. Not that we give a fuck here, because we don't. But I'll let you get your thing off. And then I'll tell you where you're wrong. Because 9 times out of 10, when you come up here with that feminist bullshit, you're going to be wrong. Of course they're not going to call. They don't have the courage to call and they don't have the courage to call and address somebody who's going to challenge them. They'll call up here and they'll talk to Boots. They'll come meet with Boots. Not because Boots is a punk, but Boots is, he going to let them say what they say and try to be respectable of it. But I don't respect bullshit. I just don't. 72% of African-American children are born in single-family homes, and the majority of those children are in homes with women. But then you want to turn around and tell me that everything that goes wrong with these children is the fault of the man who you say is toxic, who you say is a terrorist, who you say is the white people of black people, but you also want to highlight the fact that he ain't there. How can a man who's not there have influence on a child that turns out fucked up? But yeah, you still fuck them. And I can guarantee you with the mathematical certainty, all of those women that was sitting at that table that night, single mothers, unmarried, ain't got no man. I rarely see these type of women who have husbands at home. It's always some bitch who didn't got high mileage on her pussy. She didn't had to move from one state to the next because everybody know that she ain't shit and they don't need to fuck with it. And it's always the bitches that who then relocated from Philly to New York, relocated from Chicago to Houston, relocated from Detroit to Miami. It's always these motherfucking out of town bitches who try to go somewhere else, somewhere new, and try to reestablish themselves. And they try to leave a fucked up past behind. Each one of those women at that table, I'm willing to bet, unmarried, single mother, ain't got no man, unhappy as home, than the motherfucking got a drawer full of dead batteries that they didn't use in a vibrator that won't make that motherfucker buzz no more. I'm willing to bet it. I'm just saying. I mean, you know this motherfucker ain't charging nothing. You know that, right? Did you turn it on? Did you press the thing? I thought I turned it on. No, you know what, man? Is it pink? Is it pink? Oh, you pressed the button then. You know what, bruh? I need a new engineer. I'm about to fire this motherfucker because he got me over here trying to charge a goddamn MacBook that ain't got no battery to this pussy ass shit. Let me just say. And you know, you look at the Black Lives Matter thing, and it's been subverted. Now they getting donations. You know, because I had, a couple of years ago, of course, when the Million Man March 20-year anniversary came, I had Black Lives Matter shirts because I didn't know no fucking better. I printed out the shirts. I wanted to get the shirts out, you know, because I was believing in the movement and, you know, and then the stuff just slowly started trickling in with me. So what I did was I went over to American University, and I gave them all away. But I have a caller that's calling in. Caller, where you calling in? Where you calling from?
Look, we forget the formalities. You already know who it is.
Oh, it's Boots. I knew he was gonna call in. What's up, Playboy? I told you I wasn't giving.
First off, I wasn't gonna call, but I'm gonna listen because you my man. I'm gonna always support and listen. But I said, you know what? I ain't gonna call. But after hearing my name a couple times,
I didn't throw you under the bus.
Call in.
I didn't throw you under the bus.
But listen. No, you didn't. But listen. Here's the thing. You have every right to feel the way you feel, to have your views on what the ladies were saying the last week, and even your views on the article you brought up about the young lady who called black men terrorists, this, that, and the fourth. You're entitled to your views. The issue is that, and ironically, this is something that I kind of learned going to marriage counseling, quite honestly. I think the thing that you're doing is you see these words and you see these buzzwords, male terrorists or black men is the white men of black people and things like that, and you focus on that. You focus on that, and that is pretty much where the thought process of it ends for you. And I think that you don't take the time to actually hear what it is that they are saying, whether or not it's a bad comparison, whether or not the analogy fits or not. The underlying message behind what a lot of these women are saying is valid, and it's true. Is there some women out here that take it too far? Yeah. Is there some women out here that just be doing the most and don't show any accountability for themselves and the role they play in all of this? Absolutely. But generally speaking, if you just take the time to listen to what it is that they're saying, instead of not getting past whatever the clickbait words are or what have you, I think that being an intelligent brother like I know you are, you can say, well, you can at least come away saying, all right, I kind of understand that. I see where you're coming from on that. I mean, you got these women out here, especially in the D.C. area, Look how many women have been assaulted, being killed. All these women set on fire. All these things that happen. You think that these women not going to have some disdain for men in general, white, black, whoever, that are doing these things? They ain't, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, they ain't setting us on fire. They ain't, I mean, things do happen, but you can't just dismiss their feelings and what they saying because you don't like the way they said it, is what I'm saying.
Okay, now, this is what I want to say to you. Boots, you have the second best show on the Rip Radio Network. And because of the bullshit, because of the bullshit you just said, you're going to always be second. Here, listen. Here's what happens. What they're doing, I would say, is equivalent to what a Tommy Sotomayor does. He makes disparaging titles about black women. And I don't know if you know who he is. I'm pretty sure you do. If not, your audience knows. He makes disparaging titles about women.
He does.
And in some of his videos, he does maybe 3% of the time raise valid points. He does. There's no denying that. Very few times he raises valid points. But the fact that the vitriol is there initially, you can't tell me that black men are terrorists and then I want to have a conversation with you. You can't say that black men are the white men of black people and then I want to hear you. You can't say you're right. It's clickbait. And what do you do with clickbait? Clickbait, you don't read it. Clickbait, when you see bullshit, you dismiss it. And let me also say this. A lot of people do. Let me also say this. The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
Oh, here we go.
No, the hypocrisy. There's hypocrisy. And like I said to you this morning, you can't have an issue with black men, women being objectified by black men, but yet you objectify black men. You can't have a problem with the abuse that black women experience from black men and then turn a blind eye to the abuse that black men suffer, be it physical, be it psychological, be it legally, that black men, you can't turn a blind eye to that. And what I'm saying in my show, in my whole thing today, there's a difference between wanting people to be equal and wanting women to have advantages. If you want,
let me ask you a question.
Sure.
As a black man, as a proud black man, do you take time to
We lost him. What he was probably going to say is, if I take time with my daughters, because he know I have 4. And I have 2. One that's a freshman in high school, one that's an 8th grader. And yes, I do. I teach them about abuses that they can have or they can experience with men. I teach them about how men would try to take advantage of them. That's him again? Okay, Boots, what were you about to ask me? Because you got that cricket phone.
As a black man, do you take time to always or regularly address issues and concerns of Asian people? Or do you always take time to address the concerns of what, Holocaust survivors may go through? Or do you ever take the time to regularly address, like, what black women may go through? You may not. Sometimes you may talk about it on different platforms. You may, I don't know. But what I do know enough about you to know is that, for the most part, you take time out to address issues regarding us as black men and black people as a whole, right? So in the same regard, these women shouldn't have to say, blah, 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 black women this, we da-da-da-da-da, as much as they do, and then have to say, but let me address black men who are unjustly taken for child support, or black men who have to deal with women who use their kids as pawns against them. But they shouldn't have to do that.
They shouldn't have to do it. Why? Well, hold on. Let me interrupt you. I'm about to
tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm about to answer your question.
Go ahead.
They shouldn't have to do that in order for their personal beliefs and ideas and things that they want to get across to be valid. And the reason why that is because is maybe for whatever reason they feel like the things that they feel like are important aren't being heard at all. Maybe they feel like as in generally speaking, their voice aren't being heard at all. Not only are they black, but they also women, blah blah blah. Maybe they
in essence
they shouldn't have to do that in order to make their points valid.
So what you're saying is, which is the argument that they're making, is I should push all my concerns as a black man. Hold on, you filibustering, Boost. Let me jump in here. I have to, as a black man, as a proud black man, as a proud black person, I have to turn around and take my concerns as a black man that I experience as a black man, and I have to muffle them. I have to quiet them. Hold on. I have to quiet them and allow them to filibuster and come out with a bunch of whatever they say because they don't represent, they might think they represent the interests of black women. They might think that. They are the majority. They are the minority. You do understand that. It's like Minister Farrakhan. Even though Minister Farrakhan, he speaks about the interests of black people, you know that a majority of black Christian folks, not you, but a majority of black Christian folks can't get with it. So black feminists that sit and talk about the interests of black women aren't representing the feelings and the experiences of all black women. They're talking about and advocating for their own individual experiences. And what I say is this: just because I don't agree with you, you have issues. I don't have to agree. I don't. I'm under no obligation or no restriction to push my concerns to the back, because when you say you're a feminist and you're about the equality of women to men, if you're not saying you're also about the equality of men to women, then there's the line drawn in the sand right there, because I'm not a woman. You got concerns on your side of that line, and I got concerns on my side of the line. And if you're not going to, if you're not going to address, if you're not going to come and say, yeah, we need to have some personal accountability. Yeah, we need to stop some of the shit we doing. If we're not going to have an honest dialogue, and we're only going to have a dialogue just about men's behavior, but we can't have a dialogue about women's behavior, then we can't have a conversation. It's not going to be honest.
But listen, I'm 3 quick points and I'm a roll. One, but in saying what they're saying, they're not saying that you don't have a valid reason to voice your concerns. They're not trying to tell you, oh, we need you to 100% pay attention to us, and pay attention to our concerns, and forget all that stuff you're saying. That'll be like us saying, yeah, America, we need y'all to focus on the plight of black people, but forget global warming, forget, homelessness in America, forget all the other issues. I don't want y'all to focus on nothing else, just focus on us. Nobody's saying that. So come on, that's not even logical that they say that. That's number one. Number two, probably one of the reasons why they may not, like as you said, focus on accountability or whatever it is your issues may be as a black man is that if anytime a person expresses their beliefs, and whether or not the person that they're talking to or expressing it to understands or agrees with it or not, but if they are felt like they are being dismissed, if they are felt like they are purposely not being heard, and then along the way they're being called bitches and all that type of stuff like that, what makes you think that they're going to take the time to hear what you got to say?
Okay.
What makes you think that they're going to take the time to take into account the things you happen? So so you have lastly, like I started off, you have every right to disagree. You have every right to say, man, I'm not really feeling that. I'm not really feeling it. I don't really agree with the point that you're trying to make. saying. It just don't make sense to me.
Well,
You have every reason to say that. That is completely different.
This is
completely different.
This is
Hold
what
up,
this is
real
what we
quick.
gonna work
That's
out. This is what we
completely-
hold on, because I'm getting ready to go off the air boost, but this is what we're gonna do. Number one, we're gonna continue this. But this is what I'm proposing. We could do it on my show. If we could work something out where we could do it during the time that you can get here and we can find a window where we could do it. What we could do is this. You can invite all of those same or different black feminists to this show. To sit.
Why calling them black feminists?
Listen to what I'm saying, Boots. You can have all of them that represent that ideology to sit down with the equal amount of black men who are strong advocates for what's going on with black men. If you want to sit down and we can have a dialogue, then let's do that and see if they're willing to come to the table and not only tell us what's wrong with us and address to us what's wrong with us, but also be able to digest and take some type of responsibility and ownership to everything that we're saying is wrong with them. Let's see if they're willing to take that challenge. I'm willing to bet you all the money in my pocket that not one of them will take it.
Well, you're probably right, especially when you continue to call them bitches and say that whatever.
Well, when you call me a fucking terrorist and you tell me that I am the white man, that black men are the white men of black people, when you say that, I call you a bitch, you call me a terrorist. I call you a hoe, you say I'm a white person. You can't tell me one is better than the other one was worse than the other one. They have their own ways.
Listen,
they have their own ways of throwing us under the bus and throwing little shit at us and making us feel like we're less than goddamn human, and then they have a problem with us turning around and doing it. You're doing the same thing. You're telling me.
I think you're exaggerating.
I just posted something where a woman says she gonna start calling black men terrorists. Terrorists.
Like you said, that's one woman. You heard that from one woman. They all not calling everybody terrorists. Everybody, they're not all saying that.
Okay, so I'm going to spend the rest of the day spamming your inbox with all of these fucked up articles that these black feminists coming from that side are writing about black men, and I want you to see what they think of us. And I don't even read the articles; just look at what the articles say in order to bring you in.
Okay.
I'm gonna spam you today.
All I'm gonna say is, if you send me 10 articles that have the same type of title, those 10 articles still don't represent, like you said earlier, the masses of black women.
You can't expect me to have these flowerful conversation and address them in this flowerful way if they calling me a terrorist. That's all I'm saying. If you want me to scale back my language, if you want me to scale back my language, you got to scale back yours. Otherwise, we just gonna be calling each other shit. Huh?
Why lump them all together?
What you mean? Why them the ones that's doing it? I don't see nobody that doesn't identify as a black feminist writing those type of articles. If you ask that woman if she a black feminist, she'll say yes. If you ask Kendra Kales if she a black feminist, she'll say yes. And she's the one from off your show that if you go to her page, she's always kicking black men in the nuts with every fucked up article written about us. So if you want me to have some kind of respect and decency in conversation towards them,
I agree with that a little bit.
That's all I'm saying.
Me and her have gone back.
Hold on, I gotta get ready to go off the air. We gonna continue this in our inbox. Me and you gonna have a conversation. We gonna put this show together. But I gotta go off the air. Y'all go to his show tonight. We ain't got no name. 8 o'clock. His the second best show on Red Radio Network. His name Boots. He got a big head and a big beard. And but look, I gotta wrap this up. Thanks for calling in, man. You know you're always welcome to call in. I got to wrap this up.
Always a pleasure.
I'm going to have a female host next week. I'm about to look at her picture and see if she's cute. I appreciate y'all that listening. All 400 plus of y'all that listening. I'm going to post the video once I get it back on my once Trump sent me the link and I put it on my YouTube page. This is TJ the Chicago Kid, and I'm out.